Thank you for stopping by. Go ahead and get started. Okay, so when we last left off, I had just run the parser or the Lexer the first time and got some jacked up output, but I think I know some of what the problem is. So here is what we're trying to parse. It's just some comments and some free text outside of it. Some block comments and some line comments. Let me see. Let's run this one more time. So yeah, we're getting some non-printable stuff. So yeah, let's see what's going on. Okay. I don't think the problem is with the scanning functions themselves. Or at least the problems that I definitely know are there. They're in the Lexer. Okay. So first off, let's say we come across the a slash. We peek and see that the next character is a slash. When we start scanning, we've not moved the character past the first slash. So right off the bat already, when we're starting with the comments here, you can see we've consumed the we didn't consume those two slashes, and so they're part of the comment even though they shouldn't be. So right off the bat, we know we need to fix that. So let's attend to that. So we need to make sure whenever we start scanning that we're starting with the characters that we want to scan. So we already know we can advance twice because we peaked and it was not the end of the stream, so we're good to advance one, and then we're good to advance at least one more. So let's call advance twice. So we advance character buffer. And, whoops. Advance the buffer, and we don't need to worry about any errors, so we'll just not pass in the error handler or error state. Cool, so now we've skipped past the slash, past the second slash. Now we're on the first character of the comment. Now we can begin scanning. Scan character X. Okay, so then what this is going to do is this is going to scan until we get to the end. So specifically, just keep scanning everything until you get to the new line. Once we've scanned, hit the new line, then we're going to be on the new line. And so what we want to do is advance past that because we want to start scanning on the next line after the new line. We already know that it's a new line. We don't need to deal with the new line. So new line is significant in some cases, but not at the end of a line comment. So then we can advance the character buffer again. We'll be alright. Now we actually need to wait until after we do the error handling here. I mean, we don't have to, but it makes sense. Okay, and then when we're doing the star, well, same thing. We need to advance twice. We'd have to do it inside these ifs because we have to do our checking and peeking first. So probably start getting better at using marks and stuff like that, but it's the theme. Well, it's the theme is that I'm just a janitor and, well, I'm not keen on those fancy developer tricks. Ha ha ha. Anyway, enough self-deprecation. Okay, so we advance twice, we start our scanning, we do the scan pair thing, we do all of that. Now, on the scan pair thing, we scan until we get to a character and we do the peek to see the second character. So at the end of the scan, we're still on the first character of the star/combo. And when we start scanning again, then, we don't want to still be back there. So then we need to, then we can advance character buffer. Again, we're going to have to do this twice because we're going to have to scan past the stars, past the slash, and then the next thing that we start scanning is whatever character is right on the other side. So okay. Then here we're scanning for a word. So we found a slash, but it wasn't significant. It was just part of a word. So we scan until we hit the first character that is not, it's white space or reserved or whatever else have you, wherever we need to keep on parsing. I just realized that there will be some times where when we're checking for these reserved characters, we might check for like, oh, we need to go back and look. Okay, it's a slash. Go back and look if it's a comment. It's not. So then we keep on parsing for a word. Those are going to become two separate word tokens, but that's okay. Because we know that words should always have like a spaces in between them. And if you have two words that are just successive, then those actually should be compactified into one. So we'll concatenate those, and we'll do that in the parsing step. So that's actually not a problem at all. But I do need to keep that in mind. Okay. So, so we found that it was a slash. We actually don't want to advance any characters. We want to consume that first slash because it's actually part of the word. No need skipping. Before or after, because once we get to the end, we're already on the first character after the word, and we need to parse that. So, okay. Now, if we're parsing a word and it's the last word in the deal, it's actually not an error if we're at buff end. So we go if error code is error buff end specifically, then that's actually okay. Actually, no, it shouldn't even throw an error in that case. So, never mind. This is a moot point. It only throws from mem. Okay. Cool. Let's see. So, white space. We do the scanning includes. So, once we get to the first invalid character, then we want to start parsing again. And so we don't need to, once again, we don't want to do any advancing before or after. The new line we've handled correctly. We already do the advance. And then for words, yeah, we want to scan the whole thing. So I don't know if this will fix the whole thing. If it doesn't, then I think there's different errors aside from advancing and stuff like that. But those definitely were problems. So let's see how much of this stuff it fixed. So let's clear and make all. And then let's run it. So I'm lazy. Let's just pull it back up here. Okay. Before we do that, let's clear first. Okay, so that's what we're working with. Go back here. And we still have problems. So that's with scanning. And maybe I should have kind of guessed that because obviously we're getting non-printable stuff. That's different. We shouldn't be getting that. It seems to be particularly with... Well, let's take a look here. Obviously, this parsed correctly, right? We got this... Started off on the right foot, and then everything after that went to fucking hell, right? So the very next thing that it thought that it needed to parse was for words. So what happened is it got to the new line, it should have skipped past, it got to this slash, and then it didn't see this star for some reason. So actually, let's quit out here and this, and let's work over here. Actually, let's go back into Lex just to make sure that we called our scanning correctly. Okay, so we should have skipped past the new line. And then we should have found this here. So the problem could be in this logic, or it could just be in all the logic surrounding. Now, did I put an advance? Some kind of advance out here. had to have gotten here. Maybe what might help, since we already initialized debug, right before we switch on the current character, let's do a debug log. Log debug or debug log. God damn it. Debug. It's log debug. Okay, so now this will print that out right before we print out each token. Okay, so let's run it. Oh, I need to build with debug. Why is it not printing? Initialize the debug. I'm gonna call Lex. It should. Is this not happening here? Why is this not? I mean, if this was printf, it would work, right? Why is my debug thing not working? mean, I guess it's probably because the debug is not seeing the bug load compile flag. Look at the makefile again. Oh, in there. Always using the GCC ops. I'm just curious here. Okay. So this is oh, it's because I not didn't build. What's going on? Oh, I'm printing that here, Joe. Oh, man. What am I even fucking looking at? I'm fucking confused. How does that happen? I'm so confused. I'm gonna try to build that one more time. It's gonna not work, and then I'm gonna. But I just want to see it not work again. Oh, but then it did work. Son of a bitch. Well, maybe it was working before, and I'm just stupid. Anyway. I am going to use printf though, because the log debug throws the new line in there. Got him. Got nitpicky over something that didn't fucking matter. Okay, so much easier to deal with. Okay, so we are getting the right. So what we need to look at is we need to look at this. Character buff. And we need to look at the pair. So this is obviously a problem. So let's look and see what's going on here. Okay. Actually, well, the first interesting thing is it's on the star. Oh, it's because I'm in. No. Let's do that again. Let's work in here. Okay, so we scanned the line comment. It's all good. Then here's the concerning thing: is then the next character. It's not searching on the slash because it's the current character should be the slash again. It's on the star, which is why that it thinks it's a word, and it shouldn't be. And then because it's on a word, it tries to give you back the very next character that it tries to consume. Does it consume the star? Doesn't seem to. Seems to do a bunch of weird shit. We're on the word now. And we keep going until we get. Maybe I have this wrong. So it scans. It says alloc stuff. No, I have the logic wrong. It doesn't advance right after it reads, so we would actually need. Then we'll do that so that we don't skip past the next character we want to scan before we return. Only after we determine that we need to go for another round. This should help. That provided a huge problem. You can't scan out because this always ends up returning whatever the fucking bullshit this is. Gotta be something to do with whatever's in reserve word. Doesn't like that. What it is. It's not. It's in Lex H. Hmm. I'm starting to get a clearer picture of what's going on here, I think. I'll lock this garbage in there. And then hmm. First off, I think one of the things that I've realized I need to put a null terminator at the end of okay. So first off, what we need to do is we need to ret uh, null terminator. Good. True. But the big problem is that we are always going in here one time. Mm. Well, I think now that I fixed this, what will end up happening is now it will just always be empty strings for like ad infinitum. Let's see if that's the case. It's also still ad infinitum. Because it's always this, it's unconditionally always returning out of this pocket right here. Always finding, no matter what. That's because we're landing. It's. I get it now. because slash itself is a reserved character, so I can't ever consume it. So I need to have a version of reserved characters without comments, and I know that that's a stupid hack, but let's just do that real quick. So now we define reserved. Going to be the exact same. But we are going to allow slash. So by doing that, then we can allow that one slash to not jam up the system. Now, we need to go to Lex C. So we go to source Lex C. Then here, where we're using the reserved characters. Now in this case, this is fine. This case, see the deal though is that if we come across a slash later, well, that doesn't work either because we need to look for slashes anywhere after the first one because that could be a comment still. So what we need to do is to consume the first slash. Let it be a word and then concatenate. How do I want to handle this? Okay, so I can't. Well, we can make character X behave differently. You can always assume that character you're on when you start, the first character should always be assumed to be okay. Why would you start scanning at a place where you didn't intend to start scanning? So let's do that. Let's get rid of this. Save. Let's go back into our character buff. Because, I mean, really, you're going to always want to scan the first character because you decided to start scanning to begin with whatever strategy. So, presumably, the first character isn't going to be a character that you're not allowed to scan because you wouldn't have started anyway, right? Doesn't make sense. That's why I got confused by this to begin with. So, let's make a comment about this. wonder why a member of member. Let's just write it now. So okay. Okay. Now we have a reason why. So we get the current character. These 3 lines. Get the character, we advance 1 position. Always want to scan the first, so we'll just start scanning the next character. This is the last character. That's the last character. Then we won't even enter that while loop, so we'll be fine. Okay, so now oh my gosh, I think this might actually work. Or at least it'll help fix that particular problem. Okay, so this helps. It just wasn't perfect, I don't think. Let's go back to this. Okay, so we got the line comment. Check. This is a line comment. This is a block comment. Okay, so these two are straight. We got a line break. Good. This. Good. Spaces. Uh-oh. Now we're missing is re-ext ought. So we're always missing the first letter. Didn't happen with this. So presumably that's happening because we're always taking the first character. That means that what's actually happening is when we're parsing for a space, we're actually eating the last. We're starting to bleed into the first character of the next token. So let's get back into character. Okay. Okay. So this is the scan inkle part. So it seems to be working, except for that we're doing an extra advance. So the advance is right here. So what will happen is it's the same idea. We're advancing before the fact. Which means that when we find it in here, we've already skipped past the last character and we're on the next. So here, need to be considerate of the null character also before we return. We're getting lucky because when we're mallocking, it should end up just happening to be 0. So a null terminator always ends up being right after, but we don't want to just... that's... So... So if found, we need to turn this compound. It's there. Now we're making sure that we've got our null terminators in place. Okay, so that's good. So we only want to advance if we didn't find... If we did find a character we like and we keep on advancing, right? Because if we're not going to advance, why would we... Found it, then we don't want to advance. So this should fix that. Okay, I think this is all correct now. So it parsed, let's see, 2 comments. This is a line comment, this is a block comment. This is free text, not in a... There should be a line break. Another line break. This line. Then it should be does not comment. But, ooh, I don't like that. Why did that happen? Did we get a problem? It's not, and then that. The only error is this. This is a problem. Something happened. Soon because I've got to self ready for work. So this should be in pair. I haven't actually fixed this one up yet, so sounds like a problem. I don't know why the first time it worked it didn't. We didn't have this problem, but let's take a look what's going on here. So the very first thing is we, just like before, Why did I put that this was unreachable? It's not unreachable. It's okay. Probably is likely to do with this action here. Get our characters, then we advance. Then look to see the. Sure, this is riveting. Slackjawed. If you look at its screen, soul pours out of his eyeballs. First off, let's treat this the same way as before. We're not gonna. What does that fix? Does that really even do anything? It is all fun. I don't know. It works. I'm not exactly sure why it does or it didn't before. Funny. I'm pretty sure. Uncool buff.h. What I want to try is we never get to the scan page size because we haven't had any 64 length um, tokens. So let's make this really small just to make sure that that doubling up, that page logic works. Okay, and so this didn't work, which is cool. I mean, that gives us a chance to see why. I have 2 minutes left. I'm not going to end up having enough time. We're going to have to abort this. But let's take a quick look here and just kind of get an idea. Because I never updated the right data cap because I'm dumb. Okay, that should fix it. Ooh, I forgot about the first one. Cool, so that works great. Let's definitely fix that now again, so we don't keep it in because that's horribly inefficient. But that helps. Okay. So that's all I have time for today. So look, we got the lexing to work. Like this is actually a working lexer. It's we're only recognizing a very small handful of tokens, which is word spaces, line breaks, and comments. But it works, which means the scanning functions work, which means that like basically the whole underpinning of the lexer works. So now getting the rest of the tokens implemented should be not trivial, but easy. Because it's all just a configuration of different ways of scanning. So I kind of thought it would go down like this, where I'd have to do some debugging of those functions and get the logic down right. But now it looks like the comment or the logic is pretty solid. We can start to really expand this lexer and get it to recognize all of our stuff. So yeah, next stream we'll go ahead and expand the lexer and get it to recognize hopefully all of the tokens, at least in the next 2 streams. Um, Once that's done, I mean, I guess I can do some formal testing, but I would like to kind of just some more informal testing, kind of put it through its paces, see what happens, and then we'll start doing the next part, which is parsing, and we go straight from parsing into emitting. So this is starting to really shape up. Very excited. Go ahead and get this saved. Still haven't posted to you guys where this Google Drive is for these dev builds, so I still need to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and kill this stream, get it onto YouTube, see how that goes. We'll go ahead and pick up again tomorrow evening. Maybe we'll do some in the morning after work, but definitely do some drumming. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, guys, and yeah, we'll go ahead and catch you tomorrow.